What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we have a video with the top 5 weapons in Battlefield 2042 after update 3.2. So if you're curious, what is the meta right now? Which weapons should I use after this update? This will be the video you're looking for. I'll also be showing the attachments that I recommend using, or that I use myself at least. I'll be telling you why I put these guns in the top 5, why I think they're worth it, and when I personally use these weapons. So let's get right into it. The first weapon, the PP29, the only SMG on this list. The PP29 is kind of a weapon that can literally do everything you want it to do, besides winning up close range gunfights, which is a little bit weird for an SMG, but it has not the fastest rate of fire, so you'll be losing a lot of gunfights versus the higher rate of fire assault rifles and other SMGs. Other than that, I think this is one of the best weapons to go for on longer streaks. It will keep you alive in tight situations because it has a lot of bullets. It doesn't have a lot of recoil, so you can kind of use it as an assault rifle as well. It can kill players from a lot of different ranges, especially with the right build. And I overall think this weapon is just a very good usable weapon in a lot of different situations. That's why I think it deserves to be on spot number 5. The attachments that I use, not very interesting to be honest. The Fusion Hollow, the standard issue rounds. This is always confusing people, but I don't use any factory barrel on the PP29. I use the wrap suppressor quite a lot though. There's not really a down part of it besides that the velocity is slower, so you kind of want to be avoiding longer range gunfights. But if you're inside buildings, wrap suppressor is pretty much always worth using. You can mess around with the barrels though. I personally always use the factory barrel, and then I realized I didn't use the barrel. I was like, why would I change if the gun feels good right now? So this is the build that I personally use. Definitely go with the standard issue. This is a must. And then I have some backup ammunition in case I run out of bullets. So for the next gun, we have the gun that pretty much everyone unlocks right away. The M5A3 assault rifle. This is a gun that works more like an SMG compared to all the other assault rifles. Pretty much you have the AM40 there as well. But this is a gun that wins a lot of gunfights. So this is a little bit of the opposite of the PP29. This is one of the best winning gunfight guns in the game right now, with an incredible high rate of fire, the headshot multiplier from AR. So if you hit headshots with this gun, you're going to be incredibly deadly. I'll be showing the attachments. You can kind of also build this gun into an actual assault rifle, but the way I build it is definitely more like an SMG with an incredible headshot multiplier, so you win a lot of gunfights with this gun. For the attachments, what I use right now is the Fusion Hollow. The close combat increases the rate of fire, lowers the recoil, so why not? Increases the rate of fire by quite a bit in combination with the shortened barrel. This is a combo that kind of builds it into the SMG that I like it to be. And then I have the laser sight, again also for close range, but with the STNR laser sight you have better recoil control. It is fairly detectable though, so if you don't like that, go with the regular laser sight, which is also detectable but not as much as the STNR laser sight. If you struggle with the recoil, you can always just go with the grips, the LWG grip or the Cobra grip, depending on your playstyle. And then I have a suppressor as backup, which I honestly don't really use that much on the M5A3. So for the next gun is the AC42. This is a gun that I would say requires a little bit of getting into. The gun might feel a little bit strange at the start, a little bit awkward to use, especially for close range gunfights. So this is a gun that I would definitely think is one of the best weapons in the game, but you need to consider that it just takes a little bit of getting into with the AC42. The good thing about this gun is that it can kill fairly quickly from mid-range to close range, and even from longer range. If players aren't moving, with the burst they don't really get a lot of time to respond to your shots. But the velocity of this weapon is not very high, so you need to definitely wait for players to stand still if you want to go for them. Otherwise I wouldn't recommend going for them. But with the 39 bullets you'll be able to take out a lot of players with just one mag, and the headshot multiplier of course on ARs is incredible in this game. So with the AC42, the attachments are the Fusion Hollow, The extended mag, this is a must. You definitely need to use the extended mag. I have some backup ammunition in case I run out of ammo. I use this with Mikael always, so go for the LWG grip. If you don't like using Mikael, you can also go for the regular grip. And in case you're in close range gunfights or in close range buildings, you can switch to the laser. And the hipfire on this gun, it can actually be pretty good, but I feel like it's a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes you will be one bursting players up close and sometimes you won't, and the burst just won't hit at all. But I like to use the laser sight in close range situations. Then I think this is a barrel that's important. Tactical compensator. This will reduce the spread, and it will feel like the gun has a lot of better hit registration than it did before. So the tactical compensator is definitely worth unlocking, and the rep suppressor pretty good as well. It will make the velocity of the weapon even slower though. But tactical compensator is definitely recommended. It will increase the recoil, but I don't think it's too big of a deal on burst weapons. And for these sights or the fusion hollow, I use the 6x scope because sometimes I'll put this gun in single fire and you can kill the players across the map if they're prone or something, if they're not moving, because the velocity again is very slow, but you can take out players from a decent range. And I like the Ghost Hybrid as well. I think this is a sight that not a lot of players use, but I kind of like using this with the AC-42. For the next gun, we have the SFAR-M GL. This gun is good for a lot of different reasons. It has the grenade launcher. It is extremely accurate for longer ranges as well. It has a lot of ammo, and there's almost no down part of this gun. I get killed by this gun up close as well fairly quickly. Doesn't have the fastest rate of fire, so you can lose gunfights up close, but I think this gun kind of just has it all. The most usable weapon in the most different situations pretty much, but especially with the map design in 2042 where it's a little bit more open, you're gonna have a lot of success with this weapon. That grenade launcher can be extremely deadly as well. So for the attachments of the SCAR, I would like to just call it, I use the fusion hollow, the drum mag, and I have these ammunitions as backup again in case I run out of bullets. I have the 40 millimeters HE. I think these are the best ones for killing infantry, and the incendiary ones can be very annoying as well. If you find campers, you can use these fire grenades through walls and stuff like that. So these two grenade launchers are quite usable. I have the Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, which will reduce the horizontal recoil, increase the vertical recoil though, but vertical recoil of course is always easier to control than horizontal recoil, so I definitely recommend the Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake. Always have a silencer as backup in case you're on these flanks. Now for the best gun in the game, we have the AM40. This gun came with Season 2, I believe. This gun on the Assault class, it definitely works more like an SMG. It kills incredibly quick. You definitely get the feeling you're getting one-framed by the AM40 in this game. With the headshot multiplier of 2.25 up close, when you get hit by those headshots, it's pretty much game over. So for the AM40, why I think it's also one of the best guns in the game, it just pretty much cannot lose gunfights unless you're playing against certain weapons in certain situations. I would say the AM40 wins most gunfights. Of course, it's not the best for longer range. So if you're an aggressive player, this is your go-to gun. If you're a little bit more of a passive player, I would definitely recommend going for the SFAR. So the SFAR and the AM40 are kind of on somewhat of an equal number one place. It just depends on your playstyle. So if you're a little bit of a slower player, go with the SFAR. If you're an aggressive player, the AM40 is your go-to weapon. Ignore these attachments. I actually use the Fusion Hollow a lot more. I do like the Ghost Hybrid side though. But I think the Fusion Hollow is definitely the way to go. You can also go with the other red dot sides, of course, but I like the Fusion Hollow the most. Drum mag is a must, increases the rate of fire and recoil control. The MGL laser sight, again same reasons as for the M5A3, reduces recoil. Up close you're going to be winning a lot of gunfights just by hip firing, and I do a lot of hip fire gunfights. If you struggle to control the recoil, you can also go with the grips, of course, the LWG grip or the Cobra grip. And then I have the tactical compensator. This is also important. If you struggle with the recoil, do not use this. Go with the what is it? I think it is the Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, and that you should definitely go with this one. Then if you don't struggle with the recoil, go with the tactical compensator. This will make the gun feel a lot more accurate for mid-range because it has reduced spread this way. The rep suppressor, definitely worth using as well. I usually just run the first 4 attachments on this weapon though. That's gonna be it for the top 5. Hopefully it was useful. Let me know what you think. Let me know your favorite weapon down in the comments as well. If this was useful, consider subscribing if you haven't yet, and I do hope to see you guys in the next video.